Hi everyone, I hope all is well. My name is Ashanti and welcome to Uniquely Ashanti's Corner. So as you can see from the title, I want to talk about blessings and distractions. I actually wanted to talk about this topic a few years ago, but since I have been dealing with writer's block, I put it in the back of my mind. But when I watched a video from a young woman named Keisha LaRae a few months ago, she quoted a verse in 2 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 14 in the King James Version of the Bible, which says, "And no marvel, for Satan himself is transformed into an angel of light." I can't remember which video it was, but if I do, I'll leave it in the comments. So anyway, being reminded of that verse actually got me to thinking and inspired me to revisit this topic. Back in 2015, my father and I were watching some nightly talk show which featured a woman who was an upcoming actress. I don't remember her name, but it's not important. She was talking about her struggles of trying to break into the business and how she was on the verge of giving up until she was offered a role on the trending TV show Empire. If you never heard the show, you can look it up online. And I remember the actress telling the talk show host how excited she was and said that God finally answered her prayers and it was truly a blessing for him to be on the show. Now, her comment about God is what caught my attention the most. Reason being, the show Empire has foul language, touches on sexuality, violence, and many other adult-related things, which is why I have never watched one episode of it. So after the actress said that, I just thought to myself, how can this actress call getting that role a blessing when the show promotes so many things that God is against? And this led to my father and I having a brief discussion about it. We both agreed that many people are quick to call opportunities that come their way a blessing because on the surface it looks very attractive. The average person is drawn to the money, the fame, being introduced to prestige, people who can advance their career and pretty much living the life they've always dreamed of, right? But here's a question that many people don't even stop to consider, which is this the enemy's way of distracting me? And let me tell you why many don't consider this question. Our society's perception, I should say, of the devil is evilness, suffering, despair, sorrow, tragedy. It has even created its own perception of what he looks like, which includes being all red, eyes of fire, sharp teeth, and a pitchfork. The Bible doesn't give that type of physical description. That's man-made. But as for the characteristics I mentioned before, that is completely, absolutely accurate. However, what many people don't understand is that the devil can make things appear so good at first until you start digging a little deeper. One example that comes to mind is a scene from a movie called God's Not Dead, and I definitely recommend that you watch that movie if you haven't already. There is a scene in the movie where the man visits his mother who has dementia. I'm going to paraphrase what he said, but he basically told his mom, "You always told us all about how great God is. You're the nicest person I have ever seen in my entire life and always put others before yourself. But here you are living in a home with dementia. Look at me. I am a rich businessman who walks over others to get to the top. I have a beautiful home, a nice car, and I'm in great health, blah, blah, blah. But I'm one of the meanest people that you could come across. Now, explain to me how God is great in that situation." And the man's mother, she paused for a minute and then she said, "The devil sometimes allows us to live a life free of troubles, making us believe that we don't need God. So this leads to more people turning away from him." And if you ask me, that was one of the most powerful scenes in the movie. The enemy knows what his destiny is when Jesus returns. So he wants to gather as many souls as he can to suffer with him. even if it means that he has to give you all these materialistic things and the illusion of a perfect life, which leads to more and more people making God their 911 call. I remember I heard a woman once say, people always approach God with a gimme, gimme type of attitude. Has anyone ever stopped to think that God could be saying, why can't more of my children just tell me thank you instead of always asking me for something? I don't know about you guys, but I thought that woman made a very valid point. The enemy is a liar and he is deceitful. It is vital for us as Christians to be cautious of the opportunities that we take on, because even though we may not see the dangerous effects of them right away, they will eventually show up when you least expect it. Sorry. In Psalms 118 verse 8, it says, it is better to trust in the Lord than to put confidence in man. The only thing man can do is give you promises of opening doors for your career, lots of money, and many other things. But the one thing that man cannot do is give you entrance into heaven. Only God can do that. After all, the Bible clearly states that it's easier for a camel to walk through the eye of the needle than it is for a rich man to get into heaven. What people need to realize is that all this materialistic stuff is temporary. You have people who tell others, when I die, I want you to bury me with the finest clothes, my favorite jewelry, my expensive shoes, but you cannot take that stuff with you. We came into this world with nothing, and it is certain that we won't take anything with us, as it says in 1 Timothy chapter 6, verse 7. When an opportunity arises, it's important to take our time to analyze it from different angles and seek God's guidance on it. And I get it. I get it. We have bills to pay, families to take care of, and a lot of times the people who offer these opportunities will pressure us to make quick decisions, like rapidly quick. Even our families and friends put that pressure on us. But like it says in Mark chapter 8, verse 36, it says, for what shall it profit a man if he shall gain the whole world and lose his own soul? It's a challenge to avoid distractions because they're all around us. And we can miss them because the enemy has ways of making us believe that something will benefit us when it is actually destroying us very slowly. But we have to stay close to God and not enter into something blindfolded. And that pretty much brings me to the end of this quick video. Thank you so much for tuning in. Feel free to leave your thoughts down below. If you do, please refrain from profane language, even if it's an abbreviation, and please be respectful. God bless each and every single one of you. I'll talk to you soon. And if you have any ideas for future videos that I can do, feel free to leave that in the comments as well. I welcome suggestions or even requested videos, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. So take care and be safe. Bye.